today's first video with new stories from the Horn of Africa. Firstly, Russia is planning to organize Russia-Africa conference. Preparations are underway in coming weeks. Conference will be held in Ethiopia, in Addis Ababa. Secondly, Eritrean businessmen are protesting in South Sudan. Eritrea has massive investments in South Sudan, but there are now some problems in Juba, city of South Sudan, between Eritrean businessmen and Juba's mayor. Thirdly, we are seeing a social media campaign in support of a regional president in Ethiopia. A campaign is being seen, a campaign has been launched that he should replace PM Abiy, that PM Abiy should be removed and this regional president should be the Prime Minister of Ethiopia. Who is he? And who has launched this campaign? Fourthly, we have a new story about Oromo Nashida reciter. His name is Ustaz Kamal Hebbo, who was killed a few days ago. Conflicting accounts of his death are being shared. Reportedly, a few hours ago, some members of his family were arrested. Fifthly, Oromo Liberation Army a few hours ago released a very detailed statement about the second massacre in which hundreds of civilians have been killed in Kalam, Wellega. OLA has raised three important questions. We'll analyze these questions. And lastly was Hangasa Ibrahim, Oromia Prosperity Party politician, member of parliament, who a few hours ago leveled serious allegations against Oromia regional government, against Oromia Prosperity Party head, against Oromia police chief, accusing them of being involved in killings, civilian killings in Wellega. We have a new story about Hangasa Ibrahim. We have a clip of Hangasa Ibrahim with English subtitles. So those viewers who cannot understand Afan, Oromo language, we have this clip of Hangasa Ibrahim with English subtitles. Hangasa can be heard, can be seen talking about ethnic killings in Wellega. Firstly, viewers, first news story is about Russia-Africa ties. Russian government is planning to hold a conference in Addis Ababa. Preparations are underway. Russia-Africa conference. Russia wants to strengthen its ties with Africa. African countries, regional blocs, entrepreneurs, civil society, and other bodies will be invited to this conference, due to be held in coming weeks, maybe in October or November. Preparations are underway. Russia-Africa ties are getting better with each passing day, though Russia does not have that much depth in terms of its investments in Africa. But both Russia and China, they are rapidly increasing their presence. They are enhancing their cooperation with Africa. We know that a few days ago, China organized Horn of Africa summit in Addis Ababa. And Horn of Africa countries attended the summit. China has appointed a special envoy for the Horn of Africa to Zhu Bing. US appointed special envoy last year. Now Russia wants to rally the support of African countries. African countries are already supporting Russia. We have seen that in Russia-Ukraine conflict, African countries remained neutral or they stood with Russia. at UN General Assembly, Human Rights Council, UN Human Rights Council sessions, African countries did not, most of African countries did not vote against Russia, because Russia never colonized Africa. Africa was colonized by Western countries in the past. That is why Russia-Africa ties are getting stronger, and this coming summit will be another step towards strengthening of Africa-Russia ties. Some economic projects are going to be announced in this conference, due to be held in coming weeks. Conference will be held in Addis Ababa. That shows that Ethiopia is very significant for Russia. And Russian government has been backing Ethiopian government. During Tigray conflict as well, we saw that when US, EU were threatening Ethiopian government, they were threatening to impose sanctions on Ethiopian government. Back then, it was Russia and China which stood with Ethiopia. And UN Security Council could not impose sanctions on Ethiopia because all resolutions there were vetoed, they were opposed by Russia and China, resolutions against Ethiopian governments. So that is why, once again, Ethiopia will be the center of Africa-Russia relations. Conference will be held in Addis Ababa in coming weeks. Secondly, viewers, Eritrean entrepreneurs are protesting in South Sudan. Eritrea is one of the largest investors in South Sudan. Eritrean company, Ezra group of companies, built a power project in Juba. 300 million US dollars have been spent by this Eritrea based company on a power project in Juba city of South Sudan. Eritrea has other investments as well in Juba city, other parts of South Sudan. But according to Eritrean business community in Juba, a new mayor was appointed. New Juba mayor was appointed last year. And since his appointment, illegal taxes are being imposed. Legal theft is the term being used, that legal theft is being committed. Eritrean, Ethiopian, Ugandan business community is worried that their rights are being denied, and Juba mayor is imposing illegal taxes. That is why reportedly some Eritrean businessmen traveled to Juba a few days ago. Some meetings have been held between Eritrean businessmen and South Sudan's foreign ministry officials. Eritrean embassy in South Sudan officials were also part of meetings. Eritrea is trying to resolve this issue through dialogue, through talks with South Sudan's government officials. Eritrea has been a key ally of South Sudan since creation of South Sudan in 2011. Thirdly, viewers, a new name is being floated for the Prime Minister of Ethiopia. PM Abiy is there for a term, full term. He was elected last year, but those who want to remove PM Abiy, they are sharing the name of the person who should replace him. Who is this man who is being, whose name is being floated, that he can unite Ethiopia? The man is from the Somali region of Ethiopia. His name is Mustafa Umar. And we are seeing pictures, messages, posts that Mustafa Umar can replace Abiy Ahmad, and he can unite this country which is being shattered into pieces. Mustafa Umar has very close ties with some groups, some individuals based in the Amhara region. In fact, he is accused of being in alliance with Amhara activists, Amhara politicians. Opposition parties in Somali region have been accusing Mustafa Umar of working with Amharas against Somali interests. And a few months ago, some former Somali government officials claimed that Mustafa Umar was funding some Amharic news sources to prop up Mustafa Umar as a national leader, to prop up his image, to highlight his image as a national leader. The allegations were leveled a few months ago. I read a video that I remember. Now we are seeing this social media campaign that Mustafa Umar is being mentioned, his pictures are being shared, that he could be the man to lead Ethiopia because PM Abiy has failed to unite the country. And this idea is being floated by mostly Amharic news sources, groups, some politicians in the Amhara region, Fano supporters, activists, and Ethiopian diaspora, Amhara diaspora. They have turned against Ethiopian PM Abiy. They are accusing PM Abiy's government of being involved in the genocide, alleged genocide of Amharas being committed in Ethiopia. That is why they want PM Abiy to be replaced. And they want Mustafa Umar to replace PM Abiy. Next news story is about Ustaz Kamal Hebbo, famous Nashida reciter, killed in mysterious circumstances a few days ago. OLA commanders say he was killed fighting government forces. Some sources claim that he was killed in infighting. Reportedly, some family members of Ustaz Kamal Hebbo have been detained. They were arrested yesterday somewhere in Oromia region. They are under investigation. Why were Ustaz Kamal Hebbo's family members detained? It is being said that the police wants to investigate. Police wants to see if there is any role of that who is involved in the death of Ustaz Kamal Hebbo. Let's see. Will there be some investigation, and how credible will this investigation be? That remains to be seen. Only confirmation is that Ustaz Kamal Hebbo's at least 3 family members have been arrested and they are under investigation in Oromia region of Ethiopia. Fifthly, viewers, Oromo Liberation Army a few hours ago issued a detailed statement about Wellega massacre in which dozens of innocent civilians were killed. Some say mostly ethnic Amharas killed, but Lagase Tolo, Ethiopian communication minister, said a few hours ago that ethnic Amharas, Oromos were killed, and ethnicity of the victims is mixed. Different ethnic group members have been killed. Now, OLA has issued a detailed statement. OLA has asked some questions. OLA wants answer to these questions. Firstly, OLA condemns what happened in Wellega. OLA says that it condemns civilian killings in Wellega and in Gimbi, happened a few days ago. And OLA has offered condolences to the victims, their families. Secondly, OLA has asked some questions. Firstly, it says, why is that there were no atrocities committed in Wellega when ENDF was not in Wellega? When there was fighting in Tigray, did anyone hear about atrocities in Wellega? Why is that? Very valid question. Here, OLA seems to be implying that after the deployment of regional forces and Ethiopian National Defense Force to Wellega, atrocities started. So they are involved. Second question by OLA is that why is that atrocities against Amharas are being reported only in Wellega? Do Amharas live only in Wellega? Amharas live in East Sheva, North Sheva, West Sheva, in southern part of Oromia as well. And OLA is operating in all these areas. but no claims that atrocities are being committed against Amharas in these parts. Why just Wellega? Thirdly, OLA says that there is heavy deployment of Ethiopian National Defense Force and federal forces in Wellega. Around 21 divisions of Ethiopian National Defense Force are deployed to Kalam Wellega and West Wellega. And out of 24, 4 are commando brigades and some divisions of Republican Guards too. Thirdly, OLA says that national investigation into Wellega massacres led by an Ethiopian body are a non-starter. OLA rejects these investigations. Why? OLA says that even before the start of investigations, Human Rights Commission of Ethiopia has named OLA, that OLA is behind the massacres in Wellega. How can an investigative body make conclusions about culprits before the start of investigations? That is why no local national investigation is acceptable. Only internationally mandated inquiry will unravel the truth in Wellega. That is what OLA claims. And lastly, OLA is calling upon Oromos living in Oromia to protect ethnic Amharas, that they should be protected. And lastly, it is urging international community that it should put pressure upon PM Abiy's government, that the government should start talks with parties, groups in Ethiopia. Inclusive dialogue should start. I have a clip for you of Hangasa Ibrahim. In the previous video last night, I discussed in detail what Hangasa said. Now I have a video with English subtitles. Hangasa is accusing Oromia region's president, Oromia region's police chief, Oromia Prosperity Party head, that they are involved in killings of ethnic Amharas in Wellega. It's a big revelation, as I said earlier in the previous video a few hours ago, that we could see some change, political change in Oromia. Watch this clip of Hangasa Ibrahim. He is known for making fiery speeches, but what he said about the death, the killing of Oromo Kareo elders, it was later verified by Human Rights Commission of Ethiopia. Now, it does not mean that we agree with what Hangasa is saying. Hangasa might not be speaking the truth. We are just sharing what he said. For the conclusion, to reach a conclusion, there must be investigation into the killings which have happened in Wellega. All should be investigated. OLA should be investigated, regional forces, regional militias, federal forces, all should be investigated to make a conclusion, to identify the perpetrators. Question is, who will conduct this investigation? OLA says that national investigation led by an Ethiopian body is a non-starter. And the Ethiopian government does not want any international body to start the investigation, to lead the investigation into Wellega massacre. Watch this clip of Hungasa Ibrahim. Thank you for watching.
የአማራን ህዝብ እየጨፈጨፈ ያለው በዘሩና በማንነቱ የኦሮሚያ ክልል ፕሬዝዳንትና የክልሉ የብልጽግና ቢሮ ኃላፊ አመራሮች ናቸው እንጂ ሸኔዎች አይደሉም። በእነሱ የተቀናበሩ ሸኔዎች ናቸው ግድያውን እየፈጸሙ ያሉት። ነገ ቢሞት ጸጸት እንዳይኖርብኝ ይችን ልናገር። የስ እውነቱ ይሄ ነው። ሁለት አይነት ሸኔ ነው ያለው። እውነተኛው ሸኔና ሳቦታጅ ሸኔ ነው ያለው። ሳቦታጁ ሸኔ የሚመራው በኦሮሚያው ክልል አመራር ነው። የኦሮሚያ ክልል አመራርና የኦሮሚያ ክልል ብልጽግና ቢሮ ከነ አመራራቸው ከነ ካቢኔያቸው ካልተፈረካከሱ በቀር በጭራሽ ሞት ግድያ በኦሮሚያ ሊቆም አይችልም እንደተውኩን እቺን ተናግሬ ነገ ጠዋት ልሙት ጸጸት የለብኝም ነኝ ስለምናቅ ነው ምንናገረው ስለምናቅ ነው ምንናገረው የሰው ነፍስ ያንገበግበናል ቋቅ ብሎናል